Magandang araw sa ating lahat. Ako nga pala si John Andre Fardo from BSIT 1H and welcome to our networking session for laboratory number 5. So in this laboratory exercise, we're going to connect two local area networks. So let's get started. First, let us create our network devices. So we're going to need 4 PCs. So 2 PCs per local area network. And then our central devices, 1 hub, and 1 switch. Then let's create our routers. We're going to use 1 router each network. And lastly, let's add a server to our local area network 1. So let's get started. I-connect na natin sila through wires. So for cables, we will connect PC1. Or bago natin gawin yon, let's rename our devices first. So let's rename our PC's user. So let's just use the letter U in the number. So user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4. And then let's rename our switch MS, which stands for main switch, and then our hub into MH2 or main hub. Next, we're going to rename our router R1 and R2. And lastly, let's rename our server as MSR for main server. So connect na natin sila by wires. Connect user 1 to switch using straight through cables. And user 2 to switch straight through cables. And actually may gagawin pa tayo sa router. Magdadagdag tayo ng slot sa kanya kasi kukulangin ito mamaya. So to do that, let's go to physical and turn off the router first. And add a PT router NM 1 CFE slot. So let's drag it and put it there. So pag na-add na natin, turn it on again. And there. So connect na natin si switch to our router using straight through cable. So tatandaan natin gagamitin natin na slot papunta kay R1. So gagamitin natin from switch to R1 is the slot FE0/0. And we connect the server to our router as well using crossover. So we're going to use the slot FE1/0 naman dito. So yon. Ngayon, labelan na natin sila para di tayo malito. Labelan natin sila na IP addresses nila 192.168.1.1, and this is the IP of this PC is going to be 192.168.1.2, and our server will have the IP address of 192.168.1.4. So natakpan lang. So kailangan din natin ngayon bigyan ng IP addresses kada gateway. So yung gateways are yung yung mga connection papunta kay router. So for now, mayroon dalawang devices na connect sa router na to, server at switch. So kailangan nila ng gateways or IP addresses for each connection na yun. So let's assign a gateway to between router and the switch. So the gateway here will be 192.168.1.3, while the gateway for between server and the router will be 192.168.10.1. So let's press done. So yan. Now configure na natin sila. So, user 1, IPv4 configuration, tatype natin yung IP address nila, 192.168.1.1. The subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. And the default gateway, yung gateway between the switch and the router, which is 192.168.1.3. So, apply changes. Subnet 255.255.255.0. Next, let's configure user 2. So the IP address is 192.168.1.2 with the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. The default gateway is same as earlier, which is going to be 192.168.1.3. So apply changes and close. And lastly, we're going to configure the IP of our main server. So IPv4 configuration, the IP address of the server is 192.168.1.4 with the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. And the default gateway binigay natin between the server and the router kanina which is 192.168.10.1. So apply changes and close. So yun lang yung mga gateways, yung sa pagitan ng switch and router, and yung sa pagitan ng server at ng router. So configure na rin natin ngayon si router natin. So to do that, let's click the router and CLI. Here is the interface screen of the router. So we will press no and press enter. So now we will type n space enter, and then type conf t enter, type int fa, tapos yung slot na ginamit natin para i-connect si switch at saka si router, which is yung slot 0/0. So ibig sabihin, i-configure natin yung interface ng slot na yun. So enter, and then let's type the IP address that we want, or yung inassign natin doon sa gateway niyan. So IP space add space 192.168.1.3 space yung subnet mask 255, which 255.255.0. Press enter, and then type no sh. So yun, na-configure na natin yung interface between switch and router. So kailangan din yung sa server and router natin. So to do that, to make a new command, let's type x. So type int fa, yung slot naman nung ginamit ni server to router, which is yung slot 1/0. Then i-type natin yung IP address na pinigay natin sa gateway na yun. So IP add 192.168.10.1 with the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and then press enter. No, type no sh. So yun, na-configure na natin yung dalawang gateways from switch to router and server to router. So yun, nakita na nag-green na yung connection nila. Sabihin, magkako-connect na sila. So, yari na yung network or local area network 1 natin. Let's go ahead and finish local area network 2. So, katulad lang din ng ginawa natin sa 1. We will, first unahin muna natin, lagyan muna natin ng slot ulit si router natin. So, let's go to physical, turn off the router, and then insert NM1 CFE slot and turn it back on. So, yun. Connect lang natin ulit sila using the wires. So, using straight through again. Connect user 4 to our main hub. And we will connect our hub to our router. Using the straight through cable. So again, tatandaan lang natin kung ano ulit yung slot na gagamitin natin sa router or sa R2. So gagamitin ulit natin is yung FE0/0. So yun. Ngayon, para hindi ulit tayo malito, let's add the labels. 192. So the IP address of user 3 is 192.168.2.1. Done. And then for user 4, 192.168.2.2. And then for hindi naman kailangan ng hub ng IP, so we will go straight ahead sa router natin. First, connect na natin si router 1 sa papunta kay router 2. So, connect. Papunta kay router 2. So, choose cable. We're going to use crossover. And here, we are going to use the slots FE6/0 and FE6/0 again on router 2. So, yan. Tatandaan natin yung ginamit natin mga slots. Mahalaga yan para sa pagko-config ng interface. So, yun, may connection na. Pero hindi pa sila connected. Kailangan muna nating i-configure yung IP addresses nila. So, ngayon muna natin si router 2. Let's go to CLI. Again, press no, and press enter. So, let's type en, enter, conf t, and then, yung int FA, tapos yung slot na ginamit natin papunta kay hub, which is yung 0/0. So, enter. So, bibigyan na natin ng IP address o yung gateway yung mga PC mamaya. So, gagamitin muna natin is yung 192.168.2.3. So, halos katulad na siya nung ginawa natin sa network 1. Then, mali pala. Kailangan pala muna natin lagay IP add. Then, yung IP address 192.168.2.3 and then space, the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. And then type no SH. So yun, meron na. So may dinagdag tayo mga slots kanina, diba? Ginamit natin yung slot FA6/0 para mag-connect yung dalawang router, diba? So kailangan din natin i-configure yon. Ibigyan din natin ng sariling mga IP yon. So, yung mga IP natin dun is yung configure muna natin. Before yun pala, labelan natin yung ginamit natin gateway dito para di tayo malito. So, yung ginamit natin is yung 192.168.2.3. So, yun yung gateway na ginamit between the hub to router connection. So yun, let's configure our desktop or our PCs. So the IP address of user 3 is 192.168.2.1 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. The default gateway, yung ginamit na natin kanina, yung kakalagay lang natin, 192.168.1.3. So apply changes. And then lastly, here on user 4, let's do the same. Like the IP address 192.168.2.2 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0 with the default gateway of 192.168.2.3. Apply changes and then close. So yun, ang kailangan na lang natin pag-connect is yung R1 to R2. To do that, configure natin yung sariling IP muna ni router 1. So let's go to CLI and then type X and then X again. So let's type N conf t and then int fa yung ginamit nating slot para mag-connect yung mga routers natin. So it's yun yung slot 6/0. So press enter, IP add, and then type natin yung bibigyan natin sila ng bagong IP address. So gagamitin natin IP address ni router 1 is yung 10.10.10.1, tapos yung subnet mask niya is yung 255.0.0.0. So press enter and then type now sh. So yun, ngayon meron na sariling IPC router 1. Kanina yung mga tinatype natin are gateways lang. So ngayon lagyan din natin ng sariling IP address si R2 or router 2. So CLI type X and type another X and then type N, then type conf t and then int fa 6/0 kasi 6 yung slot 6/0 rin yung ginamit natin dito para mag-connect sa kabilang router. So press enter and then IP add. Bibigyan natin ng bagong IP add din yung router 2. So para magkamukha lang sila ng onti ng router 1, we will use 10.10.10.2 and the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0.0. So press enter and now type now sh. So yun, ngayon malapit na tayo matapos. Kahit nakita natin na nag-green na silang dalawa, hindi pa rin sila makakapag-send ng message sa isa't isa. Kailangan pa natin silang i-routing. So to do that, for the last step, let's go click R1 CLI and then let's go type again X and then type conf t Or no, let's type X first pala muna ulit. Then type N. Type N. And conf D. So, the type natin ulit is yung int FA 60. So, enter. Ngayon, type natin is IP route, hindi na IP add. So, kasi routing na natin siya papunta sa kapilang router para magka-connect na sila. So, type natin dito is yung 192.168.2.0 kasi yung kabilang router, lahat ng devices dun is nakapaloob sa ganyang IP address. 192.168.2 tapos isa pang number. So, for that, press space, type the IP address 255.255.255.0 and then space the gateway of router 2, which is 10.10.10.2. So after you have typed all of that, press enter and then do the same to router 2. So CLI, let's type X, another X, N, N. Then type conf T, enter. Type int FA tapos yung slot 6/0 and then enter and type IP route then space 192.168.1.0 naman. So kanina do sa R1 192.168.2.1. So sa R2 192.168.1.0. So para nag-exchange sila kumbaga. And then space type the subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.0 and space the gateway of R1, which is 10.10.10.1. So after you have typed, press enter. So yon, kompleto na configure na natin lahat ng gateways. So para mapatunayan kung gumagana ba talaga yung natin, let's try simulating. So let's try making user 1 send a simple PDU to user 4. So let's play our simulation. So nandun yung message natin kay user 1. So let's press play. So nag-travel siya papunta kay switch and nag-travel siya papunta kay router. And then the router will redirect the message to router 2. And then the router 2 will receive and send it to the hub. So next niya kasi hindi naman para sa kanya yung message, para kaya user 4 yun. So yun, bin-broadcast ni hub sa user 3 at user 4 yung message. Diniscard ni user 3 kasi hindi para sa kanya. So yun, nag-respond na ulit si user 4 papunta kay hub. And then nag-broadcast ulit si hub. Di-discard lang ulit siya ni user 3 kasi hindi para sa kanya. So yun. So that concludes our networking session for today. I hope na marami kayong natutunan. And thank you for your time and thank you for watching.